Reformation?
It's not Reformation. God, I'm
Leviticus, Deuteronomy.
No.
I'm going to keep going.
Reverie?
No, okay, guys, it's going to come to me.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's around like darkness and light,
Yeah.
and about the sun coming up. So we shot all around Montauk, and it's one of my. I'm very, very, very happy with it. But I would say I wanted to like punch myself in the face because I also had to edit it, and I had to listen to that song.
Oh my God!
Day on day on day for like months.
Do you edit all of your own stuff?
I edit a lot of my own stuff.
In terms of like, you start like, if you're going to edit your own stuff, do you start to like, overthink things or like things that you like, dislike? Like, how do you like, you almost have to like have a different version of yourself when you're editing versus like when you're creating.
No, I don't at all. I think that there's three phases of creativity. It's the thing I think I'm going to make, it's the thing that I shoot, and then it's the thing that I edit. So I think I don't have like a different mindset, but now I'm like very, very old and like very, very experienced. Because I edit, I also understand what I'm going to use. And I also understand what I'm going to need. Whereas when I was like a young director in my my early 30s, and I was using editors, sorry. Can you edit this so I don't sound like such an idiot?
We're keeping that.
So when I was a younger director,
Yeah.
because I was new to the job of directing, I would shoot too much. I'd be like, oh, we need this. And it just took me a while to sit into the edit to understand like visual storytelling from a film perspective. I knew it from a photography, a drawing, an art, a postcard making, magazine making place. I knew what people liked and I knew how to tell a story. But when you have to make a story in 30 seconds for a commercial or like a 3-minute film, it's different. So it took me 10 years to become where I am now, which is what I shoot and what I use in my final film are the same thing. Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense. You have to be more concise.
Yes,
you
but also I don't think I'm a different person.
Whatever budget it is that you're working with.
Well, over COVID, the budget was me.
But how do you then like, because I've always heard this, like people who direct and film, it's really difficult for them to edit
because you can't kill your darlings.
Exactly, you got to kill the baby sometimes, as they say.
Well, two things.
That's really difficult.
No, I don't find it difficult at all because you have to have a North Star.
Yeah.
Is it views? Is it like you keeping a client? Is it making laughs, making people cry? So I always feel like if you have a North Star, it's obvious if something should be in a cut or not. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously there's creative choice, right? A is kind of cool, B is kind of cool. I'm gonna decide which one I want because I like it better. But ultimately, every single film has a reason for existing in my world. So those decisions are not hard. And also, I would say it's taken me a long time to get there. Like that wasn't like how I felt when I was younger. I would make like 5-minute films and then I'd send them to my like bosses and they would scream at me because they were like, you were told to make a 2-minute cut. And I was like, but I just got so much good stuff. And they were like, you don't understand the assignment. So, I definitely don't think that I've like come to that place without getting like 10 years of like doing everything wrong.
Yeah.
And not killing my darlings and turning in like 6-minute cuts for a 2-minute film and then getting screamed at and,
Does this concept of a North Star like carry on or carry over like outside of your directing process?
No, I wish it did.
So, I mean,
it's so important, creative. I think if I had a North Star when it came to like relationships and other things. What else is important? Relationships and work is kind of the only one.
Food?
No, I have a really great...
Travel?
Well, clearly I have a good relationship with travel, seeing I do it all the time.
Family?
I mean, I like them.
Do you have a North Star with them then?
Yeah, be a good daughter. We've sent loads of presents. They're all in England. It's like kind of easy. Answer FaceTime.
So, no, it's interesting.
Relationships that you're struggling with. Okay.
Do we want to go into
this, by the way?
It's an interesting concept because you think about like, what guides you, and like you're so focused on your process and your career. And I'm thinking about like this whole concept of a North Star. Like, do I have a North Star? Like, do you have a North Star? Like what, like sort of guides you? Like when you wake up in the morning, like I have like I have a process. Like I'm like a process animal. Like as soon as I open my eyes, I'm going to go in the living room and sit and meditate for like 20 minutes and then drink coffee and start working, then exercise, then go to the office, come home, be a dad, be a husband, go to bed, get up and do it over again. But there's this something else, like just that sort of is in the background of all that, or, sort of leading you, guiding you. Like, what is that North Star? I mean, is it faith? Is it,
I it's a really it's a great question to ask. I've always been leery, particularly over the last few years of like an end goal type of mindset. Because
a North Star is not an end goal,
not
though.
An end goal,
Okay.
but it's like a direction, right? Like sometimes it's a direction that you're going to. Would you say?
People
No,
use it
I don't think it's either. Like
to navigate.
His isn't. When I think of Greg's North Star, I don't think it's a direction. I think it's a state of mind.
Okay.
So his North Star is around like mindfulness and just like being the man he wants. He wants to be a man that people like. Oh no! I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say what I'm thinking, but I don't think it's quite right. Greg is like the guy that we all look up to for like good, sound, solid, kind advice.
Thank you.
So I think his North Star is around like being a mindful person at all times. So which isn't a direction. It's a. It's so interesting, that North Star, because I don't think I have it when I wake up in the morning, but I have it very clearly when it comes to work.
Yeah.
It's a navigational utility, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what ancient mariners would use to guide themselves.
You should see the guys these days. Fuck it. All the fishermen are like, we can get, if all that. There's a
GPS.
There's a line in my film which is like, if all the technology died, I could get home just with the stars. I'm like, okay.
You sure
Hope I'm not on that trip.
Well, I mean, that was like the Polynesians, that's how they navigated the Pacific.
We want to hear about your North Star. Don't
My
ramble.
North Star? Oh, geez. I don't know. I'm in the process, I think, of redefining that. I've been, as Greg and I have talked about on the show, I've had, a wild 2021 and have kind of gone through a lot of changes. And I think now is just right now, like I've been just trying to be more sober and present for people that I really care about. But, I think that's something I probably need to think more about, maybe.
It's an interesting point you bring up, because I don't know if I've ever thought about it.
Yeah, no. I just try to be healthier. I mean, get up, I wake up.
But you also don't want to have something that you hold on so tightly that,
precious.
You're like, oh, this grounds me, and then all of a sudden you don't have it.
And it doesn't serve you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or you're attached to the idea of something that you think grounds you, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, I'm super fucked up right now. Like, why did the North Star lead me into this like dark corner of hell?
Well, I would say that my North Star has also sometimes served me wrong, because I always thought, making money, being a creative, living my authentic self would lead to this kind of like emotionally rich life, and I didn't pay enough attention to kind of was I actually happy, and was I surrounding myself with the right type of people, because I was hell-bent on being an amazing creative, right, which was my North Star. So definitely over the last COVID especially, I'm like, I need to be really careful that my creativity doesn't. It's like a blanket that makes me think that I'm okay. But when I didn't have so much work over COVID and I had to like sit with myself, that I was like, I'm actually not okay.
Right.
Because now I can't hide behind, I've got to go home and work. I've got to go home and make another film.
There's
North Stars are not that good after all.
Well, no. But you know what it is? It's like, I think like investing too much in one thing, I think can blind you to the other things that help keep you kind of grounded, or whatever you want to call it, or aware or present. So if you're just like, this is all that I need to follow, and what it does is it makes you very strong in one way, but it can make you very weak in another. So like in martial arts or something, like, yeah, you may be able to throw a punch really strong, but if you don't have a really solid leg game, or if you're not good at grappling or one of those things, like, that's a weakness too.
Yeah.
You know, your strength can also be your weakness. And so being overly reliant on one thing, I think, can lead you astray or can make you blind to some of the other things that you need to maybe work on in your life.
Did you ever have a project that just completely blew up on you? It was just like complete disaster, train wreck. Like this just didn't work out at all the way you wanted it to after you spent time on it?
No.
Never. Everything you've done has gone exactly the way you wanted it to.
I would say the worst thing was not that it's gone the way I wanted it to, because it's wonderful when it doesn't quite go the way I wanted it to. But I've been fired from a ton of jobs, but I would never say that a project blew up. But once I went to Russia, I shot 3 films in Russia. 2 of them got released because one of them, it was about a father and son shaving, and I made the father and son look too gay. And the Russians didn't like my footage. And however we edited it, the guys just looked too gay. And the film never got released. So I was in trouble for that. But it feels like that wasn't my fault. But I also was directing. And it was like, maybe my fault.
You needed to be more of a Russian sensibility.
It had to be like a more
The dad
Russian...
and the son did not need to have pierced nipples. I mean, I know that's your creative direction,
It was
but
like,
I mean,
why
come on, Emily.
are they like having a father and son hug at the end? I was like... Well, because they're father and son.
Yeah,
they just played soccer in the park at Sunset. So I had one film that never got released. But no, I haven't really had anything blow up on me. I've had like terrible relationships blow up. I ran over a new surfboard, shit like that. I've had like...
Yeah.
But no, I think that's what we keep talking about. It comes back to my creativity. That's something that I've like always been able to control. I can dig myself out of any creative hole. Surfing or emotional hole.
That's your fucking star, man.
Yeah.
Like whenever shit, like when life goes off the rails, you're like, let me look at that. Wait, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
And I can think of something that people are going to find enjoyable, and I'll create something and that'll recenter me.
Well, I never had a wedding, but I threw myself a great film festival. So, everybody else gets a dream wedding.
There's a sentence I wasn't expecting to hear today.
Everybody gets a dream wedding. I was like, fuck it. I got enough films, so I'm going to make the Emily Anderson Film Festival. It was a huge success.
You know what film was a massive success? It was really cool and sort of, in my opinion, like really demonstrates how you sort of incorporated your relationship with Montauk, was that piece that you did with Chase and Noah.
Salad Days.
That's
on my
Days.
list here.
I loved making that film.
So awesome. Like the whole town got behind how cool that was.
That's so awesome. What a cool little film. Noah is just like one of my favorites.
His face on camera.
He's adorable.
The freckles and the red hair.
So for the people listening,
sorry.
what's Salad Days?
Salad Days is my second short film that I made around Montauk, and I wanted to make a film about 2 young boys on their first day of summer vacation, because I just think that's so wonderful when you're young and you're like summer vacation feels like it's like the longest time in your life.
For summer.
Yes,
Totally.
I wanted that. But I wanted to make my own kind of Stand By Me, which is my favorite film on the planet,
Yes.
the 4 Boys. I wanted my own. I wanted my experience of summer holidays because I was a kid from the countryside. So the first day of summer holiday, my mum kicked me out and said, "Come back in September." So I had this like very idyllic childhood. I wasn't surfing, but I was like riding ponies and just having a blast building like camps in the woods and like kayaking with my friends and collecting frogs. So I just wanted to like kind of see that day through the eyes of 2 young boys in Montauk. And I was very inspired by Stand By Me because I just love this like journey that they go on. So the reason it came is because Noah Avalon's father, who's a great friend, wanted me to make a documentary about Noah. And I said that I didn't really want to do that, but I was really interested in working with like Noah and bringing his like storytelling to the film. And then we were like, oh, we need a foil for Noah. So he introduced me to Chase, and the Leader family have become like great friends of mine. And so
Chase is blown up. Like
and now
crazy
he's like too
lately.
famous to even talk to me.
Yeah, right?
No, we surfed yesterday, actually.
Nice.
He called me onto some waves. Little punk. Get out of here. So I made this film, and then we did like a huge, big like premiere, and it was awesome.
It was awesome. A lot of people came
Did you
out.
submit that to any surf film festivals?
No.
You should.
I know. I want to get it on like Outside TV or something. If you could
send it to London Surf Film Fest crew there, they would love that.
Yeah.
Florida, they would. It's